The World Series begins in just hours' time between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. What better time than to break out the uniforms for both the Diamondbacks and the Rangers than this time? I hardly even wear my jersey. They're just kind of hanging up there, in collector's items and all that. I love my baseball uniforms. But this is the first time I'm breaking out my D-backs uniform. Did a review on this. You guys can check it out if you're a Diamondback fan or whatever. But yeah, this jersey is really sharp. I really like this jersey a lot. So this black uniform is great. D-backs, Rangers in the Fall Classic. Rangers have the home field advantage. This is one of the more improbable World Series that we have seen in recent years. So the last time the Diamondbacks made the World Series was when I was born. I was born in 2001. It's kind of new to me, right? I don't remember the Diamondbacks in the World Series, obviously. So D-backs last made in 2001. They're now here 22 years later. And the Texas Rangers were in the Fall Classic in 2010 and 2011. Back in the Fall Classic a little bit over a decade later. A couple of teams we haven't seen in the Fall Classic for a long time. I'm not sure if you're an East Coast fan or a Northeast fan. Whatever the case is, you're not sure if you're super crazy about this series, but as a West Coast baseball fan, I'm pretty hyped about this series. I talked about the Texas Rangers pretty in depth in my last video. Go check it out. It's linked in the description. I'm going to talk about the D-backs. Diamondbacks, similar to the Rangers, were actually leading the division. Really, like the first half of the season, the Diamondbacks led the NL West over the Dodgers. They really did hold that NL West lead for a good majority of the first half. Come All-Star break, the brakes fell off of them. They just kind of went south, and they fell out of the division. The Dodgers ran away with the division. The D-backs were fighting, slithering to the finish line, if I will. In baseball, and the playoffs is just a crapshoot. It doesn't matter. Throw the regular season away. It's worthless. Again, I understand your sentiments. I personally, though, I'm just not one of those fans. I'm not one of those people. I get why MLB is doing it, and I told you guys it's all about money, about more games, more teams, more fans in it. Equals money. I get it. Quote-unquote best teams from the regular season are not in the Fall Classic, in the NLCS, in the ALCS. Got a couple of wildcard teams in the World Series. So the Diamondbacks snuck in there, last team in pretty much. Talked about it earlier in the year. I thought the Diamondbacks were even a more complete team than the Dodgers. They beat the Brewers. There's this notion out there that whoever beats Milwaukee goes to the Fall Classic. Every single team that has beat the Brewers has gone to the World Series. It's a pretty ridiculous stat. I think it's like 6, 7, maybe 8 teams. The Diamondbacks beating the Brewers in the wildcard round, they're in the World Series. Of course, as a Dodger fan, a lot of the teams that beat the Dodgers usually also end up going to the World Series and also winning it most of the time. So there's something going on there with the Dodgers and the Brewers. Swept the Brewers in Milwaukee, swept the Dodgers in 3 games in NLDS, and they do the improbable in defeating Philadelphia Phillies. D-backs team is for real. I know a lot of America doesn't know who they are. That being said, I didn't think they would beat the Phillies. I had zero faith that they would beat the Phillies, especially after they went down 3-2 in the series. I mean, just to make it a 6-game series, props to them, more than anybody could ever thought they would do. To go to Philadelphia and win Game 6, and that's important, win Game 6, and then all of a sudden it's a Game 7. And I get it, you're in Game 7, you're on the road, Philadelphia, but really historically, baseball teams have had the advantage of being on the road in Game 7s. That's a statistical fact that if you're on the road in Game 7, you have a better shot of winning the series if you're an MLB team. So Game 7s at home don't bode well for the home teams, but the road teams they do. And so get to Game 7, it's anyone's game. It took care of the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 7, winning both games on the road to end the series, win the National League pennant. Pretty crazy run by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here they are in the World Series, now taking on the Texas Rangers, who have the home field advantage. They are 8-0 on the road, so they're a really good road team on the road this postseason, undefeated. I looked at the numbers as far as the hitters and the pitchers against one another this series. I'm not even kidding. According to my averages, they came out pretty close. This is a dead-on even matchup. AZ hitters and the Texas hitters against starting staff have virtually the same average, and that's the same thing with the bullpen. They have virtually the same averages against one another. I think this series is going to go 7 games. I think this series will go 7 games. I give the slight edge to the Rangers offense because 1 through 9, they are really good. They are really good 1 through 9. I'm saying Arizona isn't, but I give a slight advantage to Texas 1 through 9. I think the pitching is a wash. I think both pitching staffs are really good in the starting rotation and the bullpen. Maybe give a slight edge to the Arizona pitching, but really even on both sides of the ball are both teams. This is series going to come down to how is it going to be won and who's going to win it. Truly, in my heart of hearts, believe this is going to be a 7-game series. And one crazy stat is the last time the D-backs were in the World Series, every single date lines up the exact game days as they were in the World Series back in 2001. So game 1 is on Friday, October 27th. That was the same day back in 2001, October 27th. With that being said, I'm taking the Texas Rangers. I'm going to take the Texas Rangers in the World Series in 7 games. I'm going to go Rangers in 7 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Why am I going Raiders in 7? Well, my MVP of the series is going to be Corey Seager. Maybe a little bit of a homer take there, but Corey Seager knows Arizona well. He knows their pitching staff well. He knows Chase Field well. He's a monster in Globe Life Field. They have home field advantage. It's the World Series. I think we're going to see Corey Seager go off this series. We haven't really seen him break out all that much. He's done well this postseason, but really, we saw it in Game 7 against the Astros. He's going to go off in this World Series. I think Corey Seager is going to be a World Series MVP, and the Rangers take this in 7 games. The Rangers hitters have really good numbers off of Brandon Pfaadt. It's small sample size, and it's the World Series. Anything could happen, but Max Scherzer against Brandon Pfaadt in Game 7. I'm giving the edge to Max Scherzer in Game 7 over Brandon Pfaadt. I think the Rangers will find a way to get that Game 7 done at home and win their first World Series championship in franchise history. So I think this is a great matchup. The D-backs have 1 World Series. The Rangers have no World Series. Great match for baseball. I got the Texas Rangers over the Diamondbacks in 7 games in the World Series. You guys, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Who do you have winning the Fall Classic this year in 2023? And name your World Series MVP in the comments. That being said, I appreciate y'all for sticking around and tuning in. And I will talk to you guys again next time. Later.